Assalamualaikum students. I hope in our last two lectures we learned a lot about the rubrics. Now it's our 12th lecture and this is an overview of rubrics. I know there are a lot of things which you want to know and that needs more clarity. So here are we with an overview. First of all, what sort of queries likely nowadays we attend in the classes? Being a student, we always think, what are my targets? Where do I have to focus my revision? Teacher is teaching daily a lot of things, and from where I can start it? What can I remember and understand? Am I learning in the best way? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? How am I doing? What is really making me think? How will I know if my work is good? What do I need to do to improve? How am I going to make this improvement? Etc. etc. Being a student, all students think in the same way, and these are the queries which always comes in our mind and goes here and there. And for these queries, we always try to learn more and more. We never focus on the thing. Sometimes we ask to our teacher that, ma'am, syllabus is too much, kindly mark some important questions and tell us those important questions, and teacher will say you that everything which I taught you in the class is important for you, so you all have to go through those all things, etc. etc. The teaching learning assessment cycle, how it goes. When a teacher is giving you something in the class, he is teaching you something, it means that is very important from teacher's point of view. Teacher always try to teach you those things which are his basic objectives, what are his basic learning goals, what he wants to give you in the class. Before starting every topic, teacher have some main objectives in his or her mind, and he always try to focus on those objectives and he want to gain those objectives. After having those objectives, teacher will identify them, teacher will write them. There are two types of main goals and objectives. One are specific and one are general objectives. General objectives are those objectives which mostly belongs to your whole subject. Like if we are teaching you one subject, classroom assessment, it has its own objectives, and on the start of your outline you are clearly you can see those objectives that are written there. And for every topic, teacher has to make his own objectives. For every topic, topic to topic, these objectives are varying and these objectives are called specific objectives. Teacher will design his specific objectives, then he will get a learning opportunity and student also get those learning opportunity. Teacher will come in the class, teacher will discuss those all topics which are going towards the destination of his specific objectives. Then teacher will ask you 1 2 3 questions in the class just to have an overview that do you know the meaning of that what he is teaching you in the class. Then teacher will ask you to different questions and he will get a simple assessment of you that we normally use as formative assessment. After having your formative assessment, teacher will implant some changes. He will teach you again and will try to make that concept more clear to you people, and he will definitely want to get his learning goal. So this is a cycle. Teacher have some plans, teacher will give you one opportunity, then he will assess you, he will share results with you, then he will implement change. This cycle is working not only for formative assessment but also for summative assessment. In summative assessment we have some learning goals. For those learning goals we will give you learning opportunities. You have to take the classes for whole semester. Then we have an assessment time. After assessment we share your results, and after sharing your results you need to change in your results, and you are have to, if there is a need, then you have to do more hard work and then you will get more learning. So this is a cycle. This is go through, and student have to go through this all. लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स के बाद आप लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ की तरफ जाते हैं. लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्लासरूम के बाद आपको फिर असेस किया जाता है. आपके साथ रिजल्ट शेयर किए जाते हैं, आपको आपकी आंसर शीट्स दिखाई जाती हैं, आपको आपकी वीकनेसेस और स्ट्रेंथ्स के बारे में बताया जाता है। नेक्स्ट टाइम अपनी वीकनेसेस और स्ट्रेंथ्स को ओवरव्यू करते हैं और कोशिश करते हैं कि नेक्स्ट टाइम आप जो लर्न करें उसको बेहतर तरीके से बेहतर एनवायरनमेंट में लर्न करें। नाउ अगेन देयर इज वन स्टूडेंट, अ स्टूडेंट हैव परफॉर्मेंस, उसकी परफॉर्मेंस होती है। फॉर गेट दैट परफॉर्मेंस ही हैज़ टू गो थ्रू टास्क्स, उसको डिफरेंट टास्क्स दिए जाते हैं, उसे क्लासरूम में बिजी किया जाता है, उसके साथ डिस्कशन की जाती है, उसको पढ़ाया जाता है, उसको असाइनमेंट्स दी जाती हैं, उसे प्रोजेक्ट्स दिए जाते हैं, उसे रिसर्च पेपर्स दिए जाते हैं, उसके लिए क्लासरूम में प्रेजेंट करना और फिर क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन में से गुजरना होता है। फिर वो डिफरेंट टूल्स, ये टूल्स ही हैं, पेपर पेंसिल टेस्ट, ओरल कम्युनिकेशन, इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करना, स्टूडेंट की प्रेजेंटेशन, उसका वाइवा, उन सब चीज़ों में जो आपकी परफॉर्मेंस है उसको चेक करने के लिए आपको टास्क असाइन किए जाते हैं। उन टास्क को चेक करने के लिए असेसमेंट टूल्स डेवलप किए जाते हैं, और असेसमेंट टूल्स में एक एनवायरनमेंट में, एक लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट में, वट एवर स्टूडेंट इज लर्निंग he has to perform here. So in a performance there are basically four elements: student, tasks, tools, environments. This all will lead you towards having some rubrics. Now this is performance assessment: below average, average, very good, excellent, outstanding. How a student is behaving in a class. Scoring instruments for performance assessment, we are having rating scales, we are having checklists, we have rubrics. Rating scales, as you all know, we have a list of characteristics, and उन characteristics को हम different numbers के साथ nominate कर देते हैं, उसको हम rating scale कहते हैं. Rubrics, as you know, rubrics हमारा जो सब्जेक्टिव पेपर है उसकी असेसमेंट के लिए नॉर्मली यूज़ किए जाते हैं. रूब्रिक्स एक क्राइटेरिया है आपकी परफॉर्मेंस को चेक करने का. एंड देन देयर आर चेकलिस्ट. चेकलिस्ट आर दोज थिंग्स जिन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं कि क्या वो स्टूडेंट में चीज़ें अवेलेबल हैं या नहीं हैं. ये जो अभी एक आपको कॉर्नर पे लेफ्ट साइड पे एक पिक्चर नज़र आ रही है, इसी तरह हम चेकलिस्ट बनाते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन चेकलिस्ट में यहाँ पे हमने आगे जो है वो क्वालिटीज़ लिखी हुई हैं, तो उसकी बजाय हम यहाँ पे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स लिख देते हैं. ओवरव्यू. आज हम किन किन चीज़ों का ओवरव्यू करेंगे. इन आवर लास्ट टू चैप्टर्स we discuss about the rubrics. What is a rubric? A rubric is a scoring tool that lists the criteria or what counts for a piece of work. A rubric is an evaluation tool that describes quality of work on a range from excellent to poor. Specific characteristics of performance are detailed for all quality levels. A rubric measures student work against real-life criteria and is referred to as a form of authentic assessment. Rubrics are descriptive scoring grids used for assessing and scoring students' performance, as shown in the pictures above. In our two lectures, in our last two lectures, I showed you many pictures, I showed you many examples of rubrics. In a rubric, there is a left column that differs, that have a list of different skills, tasks, or characteristics to be assessed, and in a top row, we make a list of performances which we want to see. Why rubrics are important? Rubrics are very important. There's not one correct answer. There are many rubrics have an important place in the classroom. We have compiled almost a lot of material in our last two assignments, but basically if I want to give you an overview, then first of all, rubrics are used as an assessment tool. The main purpose of a rubric is its ability to assess students' performance of work. Rubrics can be constructed for the each assignment or for the betterment of the course. When a teacher wants to see that how much learning objectives he achieved. He makes some rubrics. Learning correctly constructs and use a rubric will result in a time efficient and consistent grading process for both teacher and student. These are important not only for teachers but these are important for students because through rubrics students will get actual picture of their assessment. Rubrics are important for the parents too because through this parents can get valid and reliable result of their kids. We can use rubrics as a communication tool. Rubrics can be seen as a communication tool between student, teacher and parents. Because on rubrics teacher gives some detailed criteria and teacher decided predetermined what he want to check according to that criteria and he can indicate your performances very clearly on a column. So student, teacher and parents they all can get performance view in one scenario. Then there are characteristics of rubrics. First of all, rubrics support learning outcomes. They have criteria for success on expected outcomes. Second characteristic is rubrics are clearly defined performances to be assessed. A teacher wrote definite and in clear terms what performance he want to assess in the paper. Teacher will write what skills, tasks or characteristic statements he want from a student. Thirdly, rubrics have clear descriptive criteria for each performance level. Rubrics have specific, clear descriptive criteria for each box in the grid. So these are very clear for teachers and it gives an overview to the teacher that what he should check. Then there is criteria. An effective rubric must possess a specific list of criteria so students know exactly what the teacher is expecting. Next step is gradation. There should be gradation of quality based on the degree to which a standard has been met basically. The gradation should include specific descriptions of what constituent excellent, good, fair, need improvement, what a teacher wants to check in student. Typically, there are 4 to 6 gradation levels in one rubric. Some people like 4 gradation levels, some give 5 and some give 6. Then there is description. Effective rubrics offer a lot of descriptive language. The rubric describes exactly what makes an assignment quality. By specifically the descriptors enable students' performance to verify and comprehend their scores. Next characteristic is continuity. The difference is quality from a score point of 5 to 4 should be the same different in quality from the score point 3 to 2. All descriptors should model and reflect the consistent level of continuity. Gradation and continuity should be the same. Then there is reliability. A good rubric should be able to be used by various teachers and have them all arrive at similar scores. Reliability also can refer to time. Next is validity. A rubrics possessing validity scores what is central to the performance and assignment, not what is easy for the eye to see and simple for the teacher to grade. What are basic types of rubrics? Rubrics have mainly two types. One are holistic rubrics and other are analytic rubrics. Holistic rubrics describe characteristics of each level of performance for an assignment or activity overall. Holistic rubrics are best to use when there is no single correct answer or response and the focus is on overall quality, proficiency, understanding of a specific content or skill. होलिस्टिक रूब्रिक्स में ऑलमोस्ट जिनकी बहुत पुअर क्वालिटी बहुत पुअर परफॉर्मेंस होती है उनको भी थोड़ी सी एज मिल जाती है, उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी इसमें थोड़ा सा लूप रहता है. इसमें एक स्टूडेंट की ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस को चेक किया जाता है, इसी वजह से इसका नाम होलिस्टिक है. The main advantage of a holistic rubric is that it's easy on the teacher side. Teacher can create these in a very short time. It's a less consuming activity and grading with one is very faster too. Teacher has to look over an assignment and give one holistic score to the whole assignment. The disadvantage of holistic rubric is that it does not provide targeted feedback to students, which means they are likely to learn much from the assignment. Although many holistic rubrics list specific characteristics for each level, the teacher gives only one score. मतलब अगर टीचर ने 4 करेक्टरिस्टिक्स एक लेवल में लिखी हैं और 3 करेक्टरिस्टिक्स मौजूद हैं और एक नहीं है, तो ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ दैट समटाइम्स टीचर जो है वो 0 भी दे देते हैं, स्कोर 1 स्कोर भी कर देते हैं. और ऐसा भी होता है कि जिसमें किसी की कोई क्वालिटी ना हो लेकिन टीचर फिर भी उसको 2 स्कोर दे देता है. देन देयर आर न्यूमेरिकल रूब्रिक्स, सॉरी एनालिटिकल रूब्रिक्स. Analytical rubrics featured a grid of criteria column and level of achievement rows. The instructor assigns points to weight to a particular criteria and then evaluate student performance in each area. This is useful to provide feedback on areas of strength and weaknesses. Because of this, analytic rubrics take more time to develop than a holistic rubric. It is a drawback of analytic rubrics that they are very time consuming. Teacher has to prepare them in a great time and its performance check criteria is also time taking. Analytical rubrics are particularly useful for problem solving or application assessments because a rubric can list a different category for each component of the assessment that needs to be included, thereby accounting for the complexity of the task. For example, a rubric for a research paper could include category for organization, writing, argument, sources cited, depth of content knowledge, and more. A rubric for a presentation could include categories related to style, organization, language, content, etc. Students benefit from receiving rubrics because they learn about their relative strength and weakness. And through the analytic rubrics, teacher can assign student performance based rates and student get actual position of their performance in a paper. Then the last point was how to build rubrics. Rubrics building or construction of a rubric has almost 8-point activity. First of all, familiarize yourself with the rubrics. A teacher must know how to build rubrics. He should know meaning of rubric. He should have different examples of rubrics. He should know about different types of rubrics. His idea about rubrics should be very clear. Secondly, teacher has to state those learning objectives through which he want to assess student learning outcomes. Then a teacher must know how many dimensions he need to assess. For dimension checking, teacher has to make columns, and for one characteristic, teacher has to prepare one column. Decide pass and fail lines. Numbering should be there, and teacher has to make gradations accordingly. टीचर को ये डिसाइड करना होता है कि अगर किसी बच्चे ने एक्सीलेंट या एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी पेपर में या किसी क्वेश्चन के अंदर उसने एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी लिखा है तो उसे मैंने कितने मार्क्स देने हैं, और अगर किसी ने पुअरली लिखा है तो मुझे उसको कितने मार्क्स असाइन करना होंगे. प्रैक्टिस यूजिंग द रूब्रिक्स on real student work. Before using rubrics in real exam, a teacher should have a practice of the rubrics on midterm exams or some dips or some assignments. Before launching your rubrics, teachers should have consultation with the co-teachers, colleagues or administrator to get further assistance. Communicate rubrics with the class. Teachers should discuss rubrics with the class. Through this, teacher can make understand the students that on which lines you want to check the student's outcome. What the basic idea about the outcome is in teacher's mind. But for this, we should know the actual mental abilities of our audience. If the classroom is of one class, then how a student can understand about the meaning of outcomes or rubrics. So for communication with the class, first of all, teacher has to assess the ability of the class and the level of their students. And the last is administer the assessment. When a teacher will design rubric, teacher will familiarize with the rubric. He will state the learning objectives which he want to check. Then he will get those dimensions on which he want to work. Then he will consider whether a checklist is there or not. Then teacher will decide what are the gradation levels, what are the numbers of his rating scale. He will rate the students on which specific performances. Then teacher will write about the real classroom students work. He will communicate his rubrics with his co-teachers. He will discuss them with the class, and then he has to plan exams and make and administer the examination or assessment. Then he will apply his rubrics in a real classroom situation. Now this is all about the rubrics. If there are any questions, you want to know anything about the rubrics, you can ask me anytime. I am providing PDF file for those students who are reluctant to study through the lectures. They can get their PDF files from their relevant campus teachers. Thank you very much.